So I'm going to teach you my method on how to overcome the fear of approaching women that's helped me approach them on command. And the first step is to control your imagination. And no, this isn't your 3-second rule method or move your legs towards her the moment you see her, or you got to approach 6 women in 20 minutes. If not, your wingman will punch you or won't give you your money back. Or just do little baby steps and say, "Hi, you look very cute today," and just walk away. Like, for what? You didn't get no results from that. What's the point of feeling good that you tried? Because in reality, you failed. You didn't get her number. And I probably just give away every single guru's secret that's in their paid courses. And I'm here to say it's not working anymore. All of that is outdated stuff that has been rinsed, washed, and recycled for years. And the techniques that I'm going to be showing you here have not been said anywhere. So like I said, man, the first step to overcome the fear of approaching women is to control your imagination. Have you ever been lost in your thoughts where you're just stuck thinking about the past or future? You may not realize it, but all of that thinking causes tension to be built up. And if you want to succeed in being able to approach any girl, you're going to have to learn to identify this tension and release it. So how are we going to do this so you can be able to approach any woman on command? I'll teach you. So let me invite you to a quick exercise to show you how your imagination can influence the tension you feel in your body. But before we start, make sure you're in a safe, comfortable place where you can close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to pay attention to your body as if you're slowly scanning it from your head all the way down to your toes. Whether you're in the comfort of your own home or anywhere else, I want you to notice if you're feeling any stress, tension, or discomfort in your body. And feel free to pause the video for a minute and press play again. Now, after doing that, let's rate your tension on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is no tension and 10 being the worst tension you can feel. Where would you rate the tension level in your body right now? I'm sure it's a low number because you're in a comfortable and safe environment, but I want you to remember that number. Now, let's do this again. But this time, I want you to imagine yourself sitting down in a crowded coffee shop. The hum of conversation and the soft jazz music fills the air, and at the end of the corner table sits a beautiful young woman sipping on her coffee and reading a book. For a moment, time stands still and you can't tear your gaze away from her. You feel a magnetic pull and an invisible force urging you to close the distance that separates the two of you. And then out of nowhere, your eyes meet and you feel a jolt go through your entire body. The corner of her lips curl ever so slightly as if she acknowledges the unspoken connection. Now, as you contemplate your next move, this beautiful woman looks back down at her book. Now you start thinking to yourself, should I go up to her? What will I say? Will she reject me? Am I good enough? Your hands are shaking while you hold on to the paper cup filled with coffee, thinking about what might happen, and the fear of embarrassment looms in the back of your mind. The very thought of approaching her paralyzes you. You start thinking, there's so many people in here. What will they think? What if I sound dumb? A silent war rages within you. Now stop for a minute and rescan your body. Where would you rank your tension level now on that 0 to 10 scale? Now, I want you to snap back to where you currently are right now, which is most likely somewhere where you feel completely safe and comfortable. Notice if your tension goes away immediately or if there's some after effect that stays there for a little while. Now, the point is, if you got tense during the coffee shop scenario, it's because you have a very good imagination. Can't you see now how closely connected your imagination is to your body when it comes to feeling tense? Now, when we believe we are in a fearful situation, such as when we want to approach a girl, but in reality we are actually safe, our body and our minds create the same physical anxiety reaction as if we were in actual physical danger. And when this happens, our brain kicks into this fight, flight, freeze response by pumping out adrenaline. And we do this on so many levels that we don't even notice that we're doing it. And this is what I call perceived fear. Now, think back to the coffee shop scenario, to the exact moment when all the fearful thoughts that you were having in your mind when you saw that woman kicked in, such as, what if she rejects me? What if I'm not good enough for her? What if I sound dumb? What if she feels that I'm invading her space? What are these people in the coffee shop going to think when they see me go up to her? All of those fearful thoughts that you were thinking about while you were sitting down looking at that girl were not physically happening at that moment. Your sense of fear created them in your mind as if they were something real. Those fears were not actual fears. They were perceived fears. Fears that our mind imagined, but which our bodies can't escape from. We can't physically fight those fears away because they're not real. They're all imagined fears, and this creates a feeling of approach anxiety that gets you stuck inside your own head. And this approach anxiety that you're feeling is pretty much your mind convincing you that you're in danger when you're actually safe. So how can we crush this feeling of approach anxiety that is caused by perceived fears? Well, you crush it by creating a sense of perceived safety, which means that we are actually safe in the here and now. Now, let me ask you an important question. Are you 100% safe right now at this very moment where you currently are? I'm sure the answer is yes. You're most likely in a sheltered place. There may be a roof over your head. There's no rockets flying over you. There's not a mob of people coming after you. No, you're perfectly safe right where you are right now. Remember the number between 0 to 10 that I told you to remember about how tense you are right now? I'm sure it was a low number because you're safe. And that's exactly how you should feel everywhere you go. Whether you're approaching a girl, whether you're out and about, you are in a safe environment 99.9% of the time. There are 0 threats coming your way. And at this very moment, this exact moment, wherever you may be, okay, whether you're approaching a woman or whether you're just sitting down watching me talk, currently, you are in a state of perceived safety. But how do we create this sense of perceived safety in our mind and body? Well, remember how the nervous system has 2 states, the sympathetic response, which is a fight, flight, freeze, and the parasympathetic response, which is rest and digest. And our body reinforces the one that we use the most. So in order to create safety and calmness, we need to have a dominant parasympathetic nervous system, aka a calm nervous system. And we do this on a physical level in 2 ways. And the first way is to create safety in our minds, changing how we perceive scenarios. And number 2 is creating safety in our body, which means to change our body's physical response to situations. So the way this works is you have a situation and the response, and in the middle of that is our own interpretation of the situation. So the situation here is approaching a woman, and the response is feeling a pit in our stomach, feeling nervous, having a fast heart rate, having our palms become sweaty. So when you're about to approach a woman, what is the interpretation in the middle that makes your brain trigger that fight, flight, freeze response? Well, for most guys, the interpretation of that situation are the perceived fears of, what will I say? What if she rejects me? What if I look dumb? What are other people going to think of me? These fears are making you feel that you're in danger, but when in reality, you're actually safe. We usually don't notice that we're thinking this way, but if you want to control your emotions, we need to process them correctly. So if we're in a scenario of approaching a woman, and let's say those perceived fears come into your mind, we want to tell ourselves, hey, this is a fear response. Then you ask yourself, what am I seeing in this situation that's making me feel that I'm in danger? And if we're using the coffee shop example, you can ask yourself, what kind of danger is here? What kind of danger is in this coffee shop? No one is going to hurt me if I go up to her. I will still be alive if I go talk to her. These people aren't going to beat me up if I say something to her. I want you to try this out the next time you see a girl that you want to approach. And I want you to remember that when we change our interpretation of the situation, we change our body's reaction to it. So instead of feeling nervous, you feel calm. Instead of feeling your knees shake, they're steady. Instead of having a rapid heart rate, it's at a regular pace. And now you can approach that woman with ease. So, to recap everything we learned on how to overcome the fear of approaching women, you want to first calm your imagination. Then you want to identify any perceived fears. And from that, you want to establish perceived safety. And from there, the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. Then you will feel safe and calm. And from there, you will approach her. And when you do this in order, you'll be able to approach any woman you want. But hey, after you actually approach her, you're going to have to know what to say, right? So I made an entire video on exactly just that. So feel free to click on that video and give it a watch. See you in the next one.